yeah, me and Alex was chit chatting a little bit, and
It's Greg's birthday, so.
oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah, and apparently, yeah, you're Alex's daughter too, same day, which is
Oh, wow.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
She's 10, Greg's 12. Yeah.
12. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just feeling closer to 40 every day.
You're not there yet?
38 today.
Wow.
No, it's Alex was telling me he thought I was 45.
I did not say that, Manny. I said closer to 40. I thought you were 40. Yeah.
Geez. Yeah, it is what it is.
Right.
So I guess we'll try to address Jeff stuff. That since you're so far you're the only one who's jumped in.
Wow.
So we've been emailing him stuff about your disc changer and some other difficulties that you've had over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to take up your guys' time talking about that now, but we got another person joining.
Oh, nice. Well, welcome, Carlos. You're muted. Typical. Every time you do a video meeting,
Right.
I think it probably defaults to mute. Carlos, this is an interactive sort of thing. You're welcome to chit chat or ask questions. And then also disclaimer: we post this in its entirety on YouTube when we're done. So yeah, if you want to chime in, definitely welcome to. So yeah, Jeff, disc changer stuff.
Yeah, I've got the two. I've got the 252s, and then in the last month, like both of them started giving me trouble. I think we addressed the one issue with trimming the resin guide, but then the other one started acting up in a bit of a different way, but still with the disc changer, and it's been occurring pretty much daily now. It was happening when it was retrieving a disc after milling, and it was making. Greg, I don't know what you're talking about. It was making a noise, and when I heard that noise, I knew it was going to fail.
Can you describe the noise?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it sounds like it's a friction of some sort, like kind of a little more higher pitched rubbing type sound, and then the extraction is really extremely slow, like not nearly its normal speed, and then in the last couple of days, it would occur. It would load the disc into the milling area, but it'd be like halfway in.
Oh, okay. I know what's going on. I have another easy fix for you. Believe it or not. So, man, I wish I had a traverser mechanism sitting right here that I can show you. They're up in my mezzanine. I've got like 40 of them. Yeah. So I could probably minimize all my stuff and maybe do a screen share. In fact, I can go and well, okay. So first, I want to just for context, give some background, and then I'll talk about the issue. So the 52 series from Roland is it's a workhorse machine. There's a lot of them out there, but they're somewhat notorious for having issues with the disc changer mechanism.
Right.
And it's definitely in our top 5 repairs. And most companies, you send it out, they want to replace the entire thing. That's all they can do. It's a $6,000 repair whenever it stops working. And in most cases, people decide to retire the machine when that happens. But we've dug into it much deeper and figured out kind of like the nuances and stuff of why it kind of degrades over time. And there's 2 kind of low-hanging fixes that labs can do that will help the disc changer mechanism work better. One, Jeff's already done, which is a modification of the resin guide, which is a little plastic stick that sticks out and aligns it to the disc changer as it's operating. We have a 3D printed jig, an STL file, and a little PDF guide that we can send anybody that might be having that issue. If when you watch the machine load, if you notice that it's sagging and kind of having to ride up or kind of hits the inside of the machine a little bit before it loads, then the resin guide modification is going to help. I think we might have a write-up on that already in the education thing. Might have to check on that. So Jeff's already done that, and then he's having the other issue, which is it's like a slow loading or a partial loading, and combined with some mechanical noise. And I would tell you that there's a high likelihood that what that is the hub of the arm is slipping inside of the drive gear. So I'm sure you've stared at this mechanism quite a bit. And if you take the maintenance cover off, it's exceedingly obvious. There's a big white round gear inside there.
Yep.
And it's actuated by a worm drive, and it extends the arm out.
Okay.
So from factory, the hub on that gear is a press fit. And press fit plus some adhesive that we've seen on some machines. And if the machine ever has a traumatic event, like a crash or a misload or something like that, where it tries to push past something it can't push past, that hub can slip on the gear. And it can overcome the friction fit from the press fit.
Okay.
And if that happens, then anytime it comes into contact with any sort of pressure, the hub will just spin inside. The gear will just spin on top of the hub shaft, and it won't actually be able to extend the arm or be able to apply any force to push the disc into the C clamp.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's mechanical slipping, and it is super easy to fix. It's just a hardware store run. So that white gear has tapped holes in the side of it for set screws that don't exist from the factory.
Okay.
There's two tapped holes there. If you looked at the gear from the top, there's one tapped hole, and then there's another one at 90 degrees to the first one. And maybe I'll start doing some paint work here.
Okay, no, I'm following.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. I don't need to do the paint work. All you need to do is go down to Ace Hardware or go on McMaster Car and get 2 screws. They're going to be M4 with a 0.7 millimeter pitch. The M4 by 0.7. And you need about 15 millimeters of thread. It's kind of a deep set screw. And a regular cap head style screw like this will work. It doesn't have to be a set screw.
Okay.
And it's they're probably 43 cents a piece or something. And then once you got your screws, then with the machine off, take the maintenance cover off the bottom of the disc changer, and then follow the worm drive to its motor, and you'll notice the little motor that's driving the worm drive. It has a little black wheel on the bottom of it, or on the back of it, kind of like this guy. I don't know if it's high enough res, but there's a motor right here. It's a thumb wheel.
Little blade.
Yeah. So all the motors in Roland's have thumb wheels on the back, so that as you're servicing them, you can move the motor with your fingers and actuate it. So again, machine off, maintenance cover is going to come off the bottom.
When you say the maintenance cover, that's just those four screws in that plate.
Yeah, that kind of maintenance. It's like a piece of sheet metal. It's got a little kind of flappy piece of metal bolted to it, silver. You take that off. You'll expose the gear. You'll be able to see everything, and then you're just going to rotate that motor until you see one of those set screws come around the top
Okay.
on the gear, and then very carefully, it's exactly like the game Operation. You're going to very carefully thread one of those in without dropping it, and then you're going to rinse and repeat, bring the other one around, and thread it in.
Okay. And you said that's an M4.7?
Yeah, M4.7, and 15 or so millimeters of thread. You could get a 20 millimeter long one; it'll be plenty long. There's a lot of space around it. It can be too long. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, installing the screws is kind of make sure you've had your coffee. Make sure you're in a patient frame of mind when you go into it, because you'll drop the screw like 7 times before you get it screwed in there.
Fair enough.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
I would also recommend having a telescopic magnet on you in case you do drop the screw. You can retrieve it. One of those little screw. They make them. It's like an antenna. With a magnet on the end. And yeah, you just get your set screws in there. That's going to keep that hub shaft from slipping in the gear.
Okay.
Put your maintenance cover back on, reboot the machine, and then test it.
Okay. And just snug those up.
Yeah. So yeah. Question of how tight. So when you are driving it in, you'll feel it stop, and then just give it a little snug.
Okay.
That's all. Not semi truck lug nut tight.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So small hardware means small torque, generally.
Awesome. I love it.
So yeah, that one's like well worth trying. Like, do that over the weekend.
Yep.
And what one other thought jumps into mind on that? I have encountered quite a bit of labs that are running their disc changer without that bottom panel on it. So the maintenance cover we were talking about, the machine will function without that. And I think that the thought process that we run into is, oh, well, it's just collecting garbage. I might as well just leave it off, and then I can just vacuum debris out as it falls. Yeah, I get that. But if you look at that thing closely, it has a little piece of spring steel that's shiny.
Yeah.
On it. That is a safety feature for the machine. That spring steel corresponds to a micro switch that's directly above it. And if the traverser is going up and down and it hits something like a disc hanging out of the magazine, it'll trigger that switch and stop.
Gotcha.
If you don't have the cover on it, it won't trigger the switch, and it'll just plow through it and break things.
Nice.
So important. Cover's important.
Put it back on. Gotcha.
Yeah.
While we're talking about that and having that maintenance cover off, is there anything in there that needs to be greased? I mean, cleaned?
I like it to be clean and free of debris. It should be able to actuate without a bunch of mechanical force because it's been packed full of garbage. You're pretty mechanical, Jeff. Like I get that sense. Offline, I will send you a very detailed guide that I only send to people that I believe can get use out of it. And you'll see everything on how we fix these traversers.
Oh,
it's the entire start to finish. It includes the resin guide. The resin guide mod is an excerpt from this guide, and the set screw mod is an excerpt. Those two are about 20% of the things that we would do to a traverser.
Oh, wow.
If it's here in the shop. I'll give you the 100% guide. And then if you have questions or whatever, you know where to find me. But I think it'll help you have like good context and understand what
sounds
what
super helpful.
Yeah. And it's one of the few actual like written down procedures that I've built. And Alex, you've seen it. So yeah, that's a follow up for me. I'll do that when we're done here.
All right, thank you.
And yeah, and so that guide actually, so it was designed to be kind of internal, and it is the our traverser service that we do for labs.
Okay.
And so if you sent me your machine because you're just frustrated, we would give you the option to do this service, or give you the option to replace the whole unit. We have had excellent luck doing the service and not replacing.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, ought to be well worth a read.
Yeah, definitely. No, that sounds great. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, our other friend jumped off. I guess he was just testing it. didn't want to communicate or jump in or ask questions. So it is what it is. Yeah.
Well, I won't take up all your time, but maybe I do have a couple quick mailbox questions.
Hey, hammer away, because we gotta fill up. I got 42 more minutes to fill up.
Just little things on mailbox. So previous version, when I'm doing the engraving in the intaglio, the pop-up box for the letters stays there. Newer version have to keep going back to tools, engraving. Is that like a setting?
Like per so
if I'm drafting like a handful of crowns and I want to tag each one of them, I'm having to go back into tools and open up the engraving each time I do that. Whereas the previous version, that tools engraving box would stay open and I could just type the letters and move on to the next one. Does that make sense?
It does.
I'm testing it on my side right now.
So I don't know if we properly introduced you, Jeff, but Alex is a sim system guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he knows a lot more than me, especially on the UI, like front end sort of thing. So that sounds to me like a version quirk. I don't think I have not noticed that in particular, because we do
not in the release notes. It's not an update. Yeah.
It could be an update, but it like not. Yeah, a broke something update. It's definitely not a setting. I can tell you that. There's no setting for that. It would be hey, we have found and identified a quirk of the software, and let's report it. That would be the situation. So yeah, I haven't encountered that because we're using our the automated engraving feature.
Gotcha.
Which I think I set up for you at one point, but then we reverted it.
We talked about it. The way we set up our name, we need to change our naming convention internally before we can leverage that one.
Yeah, because you can. So there are settings in the general configuration page. So you go tools, config, general. There's a whole block for doing engraving.
Yeah,
and you can set it to automatically insert characters from the file name and make that the engraving.
Wasn't it like either the first three or the last three kind of thing?
Yeah, it's the first three or the last three. Either before the first underscore or after the last underscore. Okay. So it has to have an underscore in there to delineate the file name. And so yeah, like we use on ours, we use I think the first file name. I think we're doing that first. Let me see. Oh no, I'm doing it last. So we're after the last underscore on our setup. And it does save quite a bit of user info. Yeah. Are you able to share on your end?
We're waiting for approval, so you have to click a button. But
how the heck do I even approve it? I'm so lame.
And you're using DD Shape Edition, Jeff, is that right?
Yeah, he is.
And you're using like the latest update in 26. That's what you updated to?
I don't think he's on the latest. Do you know what version you're on? Do you happen to remember? I could look it up.
I still think it's 25.
Okay, that's fine. I doubt this would be an issue where, like, we chose to do this in 25 and you had 24 or whatever. It's working for me right now, but you know, yeah, I did one on the internal of 1 crown, and then immediately it prompted me for and it automatically put 2 in the text field.
Okay.
And I can place that. Now I'm using our test version for training, so it's not the Roland Edition installer. It's just a generic mailbox installer. So it is possible, and I'll certainly write this down and let the guy who handles the Roland DG Shape Edition let him know that is happening for you. But it would be helpful to know what version it's in, if that's at all possible. Although I know you're probably not by your computer right now.
Yeah, I'm away from the lab right now, and I got it off for the weekend, so I can't remote in either.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
that's
it's fine.
a good problem to have. I think I've allowed you to share screen here.
Okay.
FYI.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, here it is. I mean, but I'm ultimately just saying it's working. But
hey, there we go.
It probably whited out my screen, so hold on, let me quick. I almost have to do another crown, but I did it a second ago, and it went to 2 automatically here.
Yeah, that's how
So
that's how it
that's how you
previously
want it to
behaved.
work.
Yeah, exactly.
And then see, it prompts me for 3. So I know it's working in the latest update of 2026 on our base installer. The Roland installer is still our team doing it for them, but it's a separate installer. So it's something that I'll report as a behavior. And then I know at least in the latest edition, our tech can check to see if it's still occurring. If you paid for updates access like after January of this year, then your reseller can automatically give you the new installer for that if it happens to be working.
We can
If
set
it's
that up.
Yeah, just as if you've
he's
already paid for it, you
current.
have access. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me make sure it's in the latest update. That's a strange behavior. And yeah, anytime you get something like that, you're doing exactly what you should do. Tell Greg, and he'll escalate it to our team, and we'll
Okay.
fix it. And then the next update, it'll be fixed.
Okay.
It's not something that we can fix without an update, I think, because if there is something going on inside your current edition, we have to release the update that fixes it, and you have to download that for it to kind of work. Otherwise, you'd have to uninstall and reinstall the exact version of what you have. So either way, it's a process. So
I mean, obviously it's a minor issue overall.
Yeah.
Big picture, not a biggie, but I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is the type of thing that we want to be, dialing in for people. Even if it is a tiny thing, it's a thing.
Sweet.
I forget where it is right offhand, but yeah, you can set up your automatic engraving. I know it's in here, but here I am.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in there. I need to.
Yeah, there it is. So
here.
the proposed text, assign incremental.
Yeah, I got to update 3Shape side for our file outputs.
Yeah, I think when we did that originally on your 3Shape, it broke something else, like with your iOS scans or something coming in wrong.
Yeah,
and we had to put it back. But it's basically it's file name based. So you have to give Mailbox the correct format for file names. That's pretty much it. But that sounds pretty straightforward. I will jump on with you. We could do a team viewer like after this. Oh, you're not even at the lab. You want to connect Monday or something? We can look at it.
Yeah, Monday might work.
Okay, I'll send you something here when we're done here.
Maybe after 2 your time, maybe.
Yeah, that actually works out. I've got a couple things in the morning, so
I'll get confirmation for you, Greg. I'll either download it myself and test and make sure it's working in the latest, or I'll ask Scott to do it quick and make sure it's working. That way, if you apply a update, you have access to the latest update. So
yeah. All right, cool. What else you got?
I see Carlos joined back in. I'd maybe give him an opportunity to ask away, or
if he wants, or if he's just listening, it's all good too.
Yeah.
And Carlos, you can type in the chat if you prefer not to, if you prefer to do it that way. There should be a button in the bottom right of your screen that has a chat function, and you can type any question you'd like to. Yeah, Jeff, I'm interested in what version you have, because what kind of case types are you mainly doing in your
just
practice?
Crown and Bridge, Zirconia.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. In the latest, you might see it because you might not have it currently, but when you import a crown, I guess I'll take over sharing again just to show you this while we wait for Carlos. You'll have something new that you can try if it's useful to you, and Greg could help you set up alternate stuff in here too. But in the import object, if I have a regular crown, you're going to see like a little triangle here now.
Okay.
And we've put in new, think like strategy packs, basically. So now you have a fast and an HQ setting in the latest. So if for some reason you want to emphasize speed and aren't as worried about quality, you can choose the fast. If you want something that it'll take a little longer, more tool paths, but a better finish off the mill, you can try HQ. And if ever you want to try to dial it in and create your own, parameters that are optimized, obviously with Greg or whatever, you can have additional ones appear here that are like your strategy. But this is new for you, and there's like a whole space inside of the tools where you'll see it now. This is new enough that you wouldn't have seen it yet in your current edition, where it just does these custom objects for you here, custom objects. So it's all preloaded for every restoration type with Fast and HQ, and that's something that our chief guy Iago did. So those are great, strategies, and it'll tell you what tools you need in the tools table. Nothing should be, it should be the default stuff. That's how we did it, so that it works for like 99% of people. But let's say you wanted to, you can go into these and you can change stuff, but this just requires, like, pending your knowledge level, like Greg might be able to do extra stuff for you if you want to. And also for you, I'd say just something to know about is Greg's actually looking into it now, but if you're doing just Crown and Bridge, you might just wait for the end of the year. We're going to be talking about Mailbox Automate when that comes out, and you'll be able to drag, like, let's say you want to nest a full disk of crowns and you want to make it like, I don't know, 15 crowns equals a full disk. You'll just set up a folder with your machine, your material, the thickness of the material, the shade, whatever, the restoration type, in this case, crown. And then instead of doing this whole import process on the beginning where you select all those things, you'll just drag your STL files straight into this automation folder. And depending on how automated you want it to be, Mailbox will either just spit out the CNC file for you. And that's all you did was drag the files into the folder. And then now you just have the CNC file and you didn't have to do physical nesting. Or you'll be able to have Mailbox open up, and then let's say you want to change the placement of your pins or the spacing or the offset. You can do that, but it'll do all the initial steps for you. For Crown, it should be pretty automated where you pretty much could do the CNC file. It just depends on how many changes you're doing manually right now. But if you already are somebody that just uses the auto placement and you're importing multiple, STLs on each job, I would try Automate. And Greg's going to be somebody who knows a whole lot about how to use that and implement it, especially on crowns. So definitely
that's coming into the year, you think?
Yeah, it'll definitely, it's kind of in beta right now, and there are some people testing it, and it could be November. It should be before the end of the year that at least we're targeting,
it's like commercialized.
Yeah. It's like
marketed.
It works right now, but not in a way that we're fully launched yet. It's just in beta with different partners and a couple labs that are testing it for us, and we're working out the bugs. So
cool. That's exciting. It's exciting to hear.
We're playing with it here. We're one of the chosen few. And it's pretty dang cool to drop so we're taking in designs from a web app, like a cloud service. We're not doing designs here.
Yeah.
But so I've got that pointed to a folder, and Mailbox is watching that folder. And anytime a case dumps into the folder, Mailbox picks it up and works. And so we're in some of my testing. I've gone from having a clicking upload on the web app and having it go up to the cloud, down into the folder. Mailbox calcs it with a single click. It's super awesome. Yeah. I think it's gonna be game changing. I probably shouldn't say that much, but it's gonna be. It's super
and you set
exciting.
a threshold on the folder. So let's say you always want it to, you put 1 crown in, you don't necessarily want it to calculate the disk. So you set like start the automation once 10 are in there or 15 are in there or whatever.
Yeah.
And for crown, it's going to be awesome because I think there's not a lot of. It's more like if you have an abutment, it might put the pin above, like onto the emergence profile, and then I got to change where the pins are. But on a crown, it's pretty well automated already, and so as long as you're, try it a couple times where it opens Mailbox and see what it would do, and then if you're like, no, this is working fine, then it should work. Work for you. So, especially with a disk changer, it's like you could just load. And then just overnight all your cases.
That'd be the
panel.
That'd be the way to do it.
So that's coming. Watch for that. It's gonna be called Mailbox Automate. So
I like it.
Okay, so what you said you had a couple other questions. You got anything else, Jeff?
It's another maybe silly question on Mailbox. I haven't played around with a whole lot, but so I'm running the 52s and I got the 53. So when you go in, you go new job, you select your mill, and then you select your material. So the old mills, do I have to like? I guess what I'm asking is, can those all be in the same material type? So right now,
share materials between mills.
Well, so right now, like if I select, like I have to select. Again, maybe this is just the way it was set up. I don't know. Zirconia translucent for the new mill. If I erroneously select from the Zirconia file, like I get, incompatible material. So I guess my question is like, can those folders be renamed?
Oh yeah, that's all stuff that can be messed with. Are you using like the default named structure, or have you messed with it at all?
No, it's all the default stuff right now.
Yeah. So that is like highly customizable. You can set it up however you want to envision it to be set up. So the trouble is editing the templates at mass, which is a pain. And I've talked to Sim team about that. So if you go into your Control D window, so if you're just in the window, you go Control D, you'll see all your list of templates.
Right.
And so by default in there we go. Perfect. The default list is huge. It's too big. And then my I don't know if you want to call it complaint, but my like constructive feedback here is like, say that I wanted to delete 30 of those because I know I'm not using them. It's one at a time. And scroll to the bottom. How many we got in there, Alex?
Yeah, enough. 200 some.
Yeah, and so this is like it's kind of confusing for a an end user. You can't shift click. It's one it's one by one by one.
All the time. Gotcha.
So I by the way, Alex, I invited Mike to come on here to talk about AI, but I don't think he's doing it right now.
He's doing an install.
Yeah, I know. So I used ChatGPT to build a tool that edits the configuration file for this directly, so I can do mass edits.
Inside the TXT.
And so so it's blocks.cfg in the config folder, assets, Mailbox assets, or Roland assets generic folder. So yeah, that is like a long string text file, but I just gave it to ChatGPT and I said, map this. And then, I told it what I wanted to do and generate me a new one. And that works. It's crazy that it works. The step that I had, so I'm running exclusively the Harvest Nano material here, and so I really just want one profile in our Control D here. First I deleted everything but one, so I only had one in here, and then I edited that one and made it my Harvest Nano profile. I even mapped the gradient and everything so it renders really nicely. And then I gave that single blocks.cfg to ChatGPT, and I said, use this as a template. Now I want a version of this for these thicknesses, these shade color IDs. Please expand the blocks.cfg to reflect that and give it to me to download. And that worked first pass. And then I just replaced the one in the installation directory, and I get a clean blocks.cfg readout. So crazy that I needed to do that, but it is a valid workaround to be playing with these files directly. Even stuff that's not human readable, you can dump it into an LLM and say, hey, what does this do? And it will tell you. It's so awesome. Jeff, that's let's sit down and customize that for you. That's something that is kind of a low lift. What are you digging for, Alex? I'm curious.
I'm not sure if it's fully relevant. Obviously what you're doing is a lot better cleaning, but I do know in the latest version and that's what I was looking for, but again, I have to look closely to see, but there's a group material by, and then it's either producer or I forget the other name, product name. And then it'll allow you to have subfolders essentially under your material name. So let's say you're using argon and you also have, it'll put that name
Yep.
argon at the top, and then you'll see only those. And that just came out a month or two ago. So I don't know if it fully will help because it's still the same amount of materials in your Control D. But it might be an additional layer of filtering that is helpful.
That affects how it's presented to you when you go to bring in the disk.
Right.
In that dialogue. Which that is a useful thing. One of the challenges that I had was so when you do automation and you're using pre-shaded material, you have to the disks have to have a color ID associated with them. Otherwise, the automation doesn't know what shade to put the unit in. So when you give it a unit, it's got to go, okay, this is an A2 full contour crown. I need to go look for a disk that has an A2 color ID as one of its parameters in order to complete the automated workflow. And by default, the libraries don't have color ID, so I had to rebuild it to create color ID as a parameter in my library. And that's why I ended up going down this blocks.cfg rabbit hole, is because I was looking at having to manually create 100 something disks, and I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. I did that. The first pass I took at that, I had a template, and then I expanded it by I think 4 different thicknesses, and then by 16 Vita shades plus an OM and I think a couple of bleach shades. And when I did that, the intake the material menu exploded, and it was extremely long because every single material had every shade, and it was nasty. And so the current way I'm doing it is I'm actually putting the shade in the product ID column. So like I have Harvest Nano underscore A1, and then the thickness is available. And all those discs have a A1 material color ID. And so then I have these expandable blocks like by shade in that menu.
Like that.
And that appears to be working okay. But these are, I still don't have it clean enough to where I'm happy with it, but I'm making a lot of progress.
Yeah, Greg, sounds like you're doing what I want to do.
Yeah. So
because we only use one material as well. We're just
I'd be happy to show you the process that I did in like a week. I guess the question is now: Are you playing with LLMs or AI or ChatGPT, Claude, any of those?
I mean, dabbling.
So I have fully gone off the deep end on that.
I can see you doing that.
It is no, it's super fun. Like I'm making my own business tools now. I'm vibe coding like actual software. I've got like 3 or 4 different processes going right now. So like this is something I figured out weeks ago, and it's kind of a light lift. So I could either show you what I did so that you teach a man to fish sort of approach, or I could just do it for you custom live, and then we can just configure what you want. So yeah, that would be fun too.
Okay, maybe Monday we can talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, happy to do that. What would you say is like the most like frictional part of your process right
now? Well, lately it's been the mills. When the mills are running and I'm not worried about leaving and letting them run for a while, it goes good. And I'll just say, Alex, you're talking about this automate. I'm really excited about that because right now Millbox, it's slow. I feel like if I want to nest up some crowns, like I'm sitting there at the computer, maybe I need a better computer. I don't know. But just the calculation time seems to take a while. Even if I queue up, a handful.
Yep. Are you doing the queue it and then select in mass calc?
Yeah, doing the mass calculation. Yeah. It's still 10 or 15 minutes before I can walk out the door.
Yeah.
CPU is what to focus on for sure. Like we have an article that would let you compare your current specs against our recommended specs, and definitely I'm actually doing benchmarking right now because we sell Cam PC that are like really high spec, and I'm actually doing data because I have an old laptop here, and I'm going to be that'll be one of my tests is nesting a full disk with crowns, doing it on so I'll have better actual numbers, that I could share at some point. Like if you have these specs, this is the kind of calculation time you would expect. If you have higher specs, this is the time savings. That way there's an actual ROI with like how much time saving.
Yeah, that's something I've been wanting and asking about in my interactions with different people. What do I get for the the $2,000 computer versus the $1,000 computer? But
in my experience,
that you focus on.
If you spend like close to $3,000 on a top high end computer, you're probably going to get like a 25% improvement in calc time, just swapping out the hardware. And so, like, is that worth it? Maybe not. That's just been my experience. I haven't done actual benchmark testing. So
could be a toolpath thing potentially, like in strategy editor. Like it might be worth Greg looking at your overall strategy, and maybe there's like operations that could be removed, let's say, or different toolpaths that don't take as like long. Like maybe you have a more complex toolpath than what is necessarily needed for the quality that you're looking for. And then the more toolpaths we generate, the longer it takes to calculate So that'd be worth like an investigation overall at what your current strategy is, and if there are other options that might shorten your calculation time, because it'll still accomplish the same,
Well,
result. So
yeah. That's so like I think when it comes to strategy, like design, most of the time, people we're just optimizing to try to get the best output off the machine, or we're optimizing to get the fastest process time on the machine, right? Really, there isn't a whole lot of people asking for optimizing calc time, even though I know it's a thing. I've never taken a pass to try to make a fast calc strategy, which if you think about it, when the PC is calculating, you're turning that three-dimensional shape into a bunch of lines and curves that are represented by points, and every single one of those points is a five-dimensional XYZ A B coordinate for the machine to go to, and we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of lines. So it's like a galactic amount of math that you're asking your computer to do when you're saying calculate. And so that's why Alex says CPU. Spend all your money on the CPU. That's the heavy lift.
Crunching numbers.
But the interesting thing is that if we give it less numbers to crunch, it will be faster. For instance, if you in your strategy take your Z step per layer from like 0.08 and you go 1, so that you're spacing out your tool paths more, you're gonna make it do less math, and your calc time will be improved because it's less math. And like I learned that and demonstrated that to myself a long time ago, but I've never like tried to take a swing intentionally at that. It's an interesting idea. That might be something I got to talk to Yago about. I wanted to mention too that my telemetry app that I built is tracking total mailbox calculation time.
Oh wow!
And so on mailbox, I'm tracking human interaction and calc time. So in the next few weeks, after I've got a bit more production data, I'll be able to tell you, hey, I'm running this version. This is the strat, and here's my average calc time per unit across hundreds of units. So that might be an interesting data point for you, Alex.
Yeah, we have a new. This is brand new feature, but it made me think of what you're asking for, because we just put in the cam log file now, at least if you're in test mode, Greg, there is a line now that tells you the calculation time. So you might be able to pull that from there. I don't know if it.
Yeah. I'm not getting it from there. I'm monitoring the Windows process. But yeah, I get. I think that's been in there for a while, actually.
Okay, well, we're releasing it now to the. Yeah, that could be.
There's an awful lot of stuff if you start diving in. That's interesting. Like, I was hoping Mike would jump in because there's a lot to talk about there. But
does your app have the ability to track total nesting time as well, Greg?
So that's what human interaction is.
So the nesting time versus the calculation time, you could get those 2 points.
So the timer's running if the window is in the foreground, okay, and the mouse or keyboard are being used, and so it's timing that. So that is your nesting time.
Cool.
And so I've got 4 days worth of values right now, and I've been changing it as I go. So it's not solid data yet. But after I run it for like a month in production, like it's going to be awesome data. So
I would like to. Maybe I'll cut this from the video too. But since you're using Automate as well, I would love to get the metrics on you
Before and
doing
after.
that. Because the total nesting time, the calculation time might not be too different, obviously, but the total nesting time, knowing what the difference is between the two is important data for me at Sim to grab.
Yeah.
So
totally.
and to tell Jeff, like, hey, this is the amount of total nesting time you save by using Automate compared to having the tech physically nest it. That's going to be a significant.
That's the number one thing. And so I'm not using Automate in production. We're still playing with it like in a sandbox. So by the time I really actually have that spun up, I ought to have a decent chunk of non-automated data that we can then run some analytics on that and compare it to automated data and give you that information.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
So super fun. That's a time's up.
Yeah, we did it.
Amazing. Thanks, Jeff, for carrying the whole meeting.
Thank you guys. I'm super excited that I can maybe throw a couple screws in the mill and be good to go again.
I would be too.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't help you, then hit me up and we can just move on to the next thing.
Okay, keep plugging away out of here. Real quick, just Alex, if you're editing, if you have a chance to edit out the volume that we do.
Of course.
Okay. That I guess is sensitive-ish information.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure it's something I want to advertise, but
yeah. I get that. Yeah,
I'm happy to share with you guys.
Just take a note to take that out. No problem. Actually, we probably should do when we start this, I'll say, hey, this is going up. And then if there's anything at the end you want pulled out, we'll talk about it at the end. And then we can take a pass through the edit and do that. So
not trying to create more work for you.
Yeah. Well, it's he's got to do it anyway. So I appreciate it, guys. Well, I'll be in touch here with you over email, and I'll toss you an invite for Monday.
Sounds great. Thank you, Greg. Thanks, Alex. You guys have a great weekend.
All right. You too, man.
Hey, likewise. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.